Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sports fans all over the world, it's time to get interactive with running back and all-around cool cat, Trent Richardson. Pull out your phones and turn your laptops on. It's time to start the show. Your hosts, Phil Quigley and Trent Richardson.
Hey, welcome in tonight. This is the Interactive with Trent Richardson. Let's give it up. I'm your host, Phil Quigley, and this man here needs no introduction, but let's give it to him. TR3, Trent Richardson. Welcome in, bud.
How y'all doing?
Well, Trent, we're in week 4. Well, going to week 5. We just finished week 4.
Mm-hmm.
San Antonio, a tough loss.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do a quick recap. I'm just going to go ahead and let you take it, Trent, because I'm going to get to a point because this went to you guys went to an onside kick at the end, and I want the fans and the viewers to understand there's a little bit different way how they handle the onside kick because, I was thinking to myself, okay, if there's no kickoff, well, let's go ahead and talk about it now, okay, and then we'll get back to the game. I'm thinking, okay, there's no kickoff, so how are we going to handle an onside kick?
Yeah, you know what? I was wondering that too. But as we went over in camp, first it was a 4th and 20 or something like that. Then it got switched around to 4th and 12. We had it wrong.
Right.
And so what it is, if you go for an onside kick in this league, since there's no kickoff or no kickoff return, they give you a straight 4th down, 4th and 12. You got to get it. If you don't get it, they get the ball where they started from, or wherever you caught the pass or whatever you did. If you complete the pass or not, that's where you get the ball from. But if you get the first down, you move on to your next series.
So San Antonio comes in. They came in with a 1-2 record, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Birmingham was 3-0, and the only other at that point, Orlando had won their game because they had played, I believe, on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
And they were 4-0, and they're coached by the old ball coach who is coming in to town. He'll be coming into Birmingham, not to play Alabama, but to play Birmingham Iron.
Mm-hmm.
Did you play? Was he at South Carolina?
Yeah, he was in South Carolina when I was there. So I got him.
Reunion.
Yeah, I got him. The last time I played him, he got me. In South Carolina, Garcia played his best game, and that probably like his last game in South Carolina too. I think like the next week he got kicked off, but
was that in South Carolina?
Yeah, that was in South Carolina, man. That was a crazy atmosphere, like really crazy.
Well, Trent, I got to. Hey, I lost some power here, I believe. Can you hear me? Anyway, so I got to put my glasses on. Okay, there we go. I think we're back. Oh, my mic's going out there, but that's okay. I've got another. So anyway, Trent, San Antonio comes in. You guys are back to Birmingham, and tough game. Let's just go ahead and go through some of your thoughts on this game.
The thoughts on this game, man. I always look at situations like it's nothing that they did. Shouts out to them. It was a good ball team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but saying it within that, we didn't capitalize on the opportunities that we had. We lost the 3rd down battle. They had the ball way longer than we had the ball.
Right.
We got to keep our defense out of the field. We got to help our defense out, as far as offensive wise. And we just got to make sure that we don't, fumble the ball or, throw interceptions or, don't put ourselves in a situation where we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot.
This is right here. I want everybody to understand this is the leading rushing touchdown. 7. You got your 7th touchdown.
Leading touchdowns.
Leading in the league.
In touchdowns.
All together. Let's get it right. 7. Hey, he likes to make fun of me. But anyway, Trent's got 7. Look at him over here laughing. There's so many more things we could laugh about. But 7 touchdowns. Perez has passed for 797 yards. Quentin Patton, 226 yards receiving, doing a great job. Also, to this defense, Trent, we've talked about this defense. Last week we had on Massacoy and what he's doing. I tell you, he's been a beast out on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But also, too, Jamar Summers, he's played great. He's done a great job. He's got 2 interceptions. Talk a little bit about the defense for the Iron.
For me, man, when I think about the Iron, first thing came to my mind, is the fight, is the grit. And so, for me, that's what I think about with our defense.
Mm-hmm.
Our defense are making turnovers. They're making stops. I think they did a 7 play series or something like that on the goal line. They stopped them every time. Jamal Summers is doing a great job, man, and it's all type of guys on our defense, man. You got Ryan out there, he's doing a great job. You got Massaquoi out there, he's doing a hell of a job, man. It's guys like that. They just into it, man. They're hungry, and they're like that at practice. So it wasn't nothing that we wasn't used to. We wasn't we wasn't to the point to where it was like, well, we're not gonna,
Right.
we're not gonna get this stop. We were always looking for them to, we always up on our toes, and the offense always, up and ready to go because our defense is exciting.
Well, and you said it best last week. What a great name, the Iron. I mean, it to me describes this defensive team without a doubt, and what Birmingham has done. But the score, what, 10-9, Trent? Was that
Well, last week it was 11-12.
11-12?
Mhm.
1 point. Okay, lost by 1 point.
1 point.
And that's where what you just described with the onside kick,
Yep.
28-yard line, 4th and 12, didn't happen. Threw it into triple. I think it was like triple coverage.
Mhm.
Obviously, they knew what was going to take place. The defense for San Antonio.
Yeah, I mean, and then at that, we got to do a better job of protecting our quarterback, giving
Right.
him more time. And one thing about it, when you do what you're supposed to do,
Mhm.
And play like you're supposed to been playing, and doing it the right way, like we call it the Iron way,
Mhm.
we shouldn't have been in that position. Like
Right.
we shouldn't, we shot ourselves in the foot. We had 4 turnovers, 4, and that's unacceptable.
Mhm.
And so I'm gonna be hard. I'm gonna be hard and critical, on the offense because I'm an offensive player. But we got to put up points, and we got when we get in that red zone or we get the ball, we can't go 3 and out, or we can't have a mistake to where it's going to cost us in the long run.
I mean, this is professional football. These are things that you're supposed to work out. I mean,
Mhm.
back at practice, Trent, as you said, you're hard on yourself. I know you're a leader on this team. I mean, are these things that you all talk about when you get back to practice, have your team meetings?
Oh yeah, I think we did I think we do like a team meeting like every Thursday. So it depends, how do we got a Saturday or Sunday game.
Mhm.
We do a team meeting, and so that's something that we do for ourselves, players only. And that's one thing that when QP get up here, he can talk more about too. He just we just came out and said, it ain't about what other teams do. It's about us, and that's the type of leaders that we have. And one thing about me, man, I like to talk about excellence. And that's my topic of the night, man. When you practice with excellence, and you prepare with excellence, that's all you expect. I wasn't not near one point in that game I felt like we was gonna lose. Not near one point in that game I felt like we was gonna get in the battle to where we were gonna have to fight at the last second. We just would have done what we supposed to be doing. We wouldn't have had that problem.
Hey, look, I failed to mention, obviously, we're here. This is Interactive with Trent Richardson coming live, YouTube Live, TR3 right here. But, man, hey, look, we're at Sleek Sports Bar. You guys got to come out here. Some of the best wings. Trent just got his wings.
As always.
Hey, what do you got this time?
Lemon pepper wings.
Man, I think that's what you had last week.
Every week.
Every week.
Don't change.
They're not. I tell you, you will not find any better wings. The food is excellent. The service is outstanding. Man, you come in, they greet you. It is wonderful. Get down here. We're out here at 5 Points South on 20th Street South, right up from UAB. Come on out. Get out here now. You got plenty of time to get out here. Obviously, 3-1 now. Big game. We've talked about the old ball coach is coming into town, Steve Spurrier. They got a pretty, just like he did in college, pretty potent, high, powerful offense, right?
Oh yeah, man. Steve Spurrier, he's an offensive coach, so they're gonna always have a potent offense, and he got big receivers. He got a quarterback that actually played in the NFL, played in real games, and he's more old school. He's gonna run the go ball. He's gonna throw it deep. He's gonna hit you with the double the double counter. He's gonna hit you with all that, man. You know, that's one thing about, you know, when you talk about, you know, the old coach. You know, and he get pretty with it. He sit up there and draw plays in the dirt right there. And that's what the old ball coach do.
That's I think you just said it best. I mean, just draw the plays in the dirt. I mean, it's like we did when we were young.
Oh yeah, that's that's saying like football, and that's little league football. He just draw it up right then, and he make it happen. Some type of way he get them players to buy in, and he make it work.
Well, this guy still has it. He's coming into Birmingham this Saturday. Really quick, we're going to take a look at the standings, Trent. Obviously, they're still undefeated. They're 4-0. Birmingham Iron 3-1. We're looking at the Eastern Division. Memphis Express, they're 1-3, followed by Atlanta 1-3. Over at the Western is Arizona Hotshots. San Diego Fleet, they're 2-2. Arizona's 2-2. San Antonio, who Birmingham just played, that came into Birmingham, they're 2-2. And Salt Lake Stein's 1-3. Now, Trent, really quick, before we get into our guest, we're going to mention someone here really quick because we have things that take place that I don't think the listeners realize, or the viewers. You always have behind the scenes that really take care of you. But really quick, before we get to this special person that we really want to thank and talk about, how does the playoffs work, Trent? I mean, I don't want to get ahead of the game because we're coming up mid-season. There's 10 games. So the East and the West, they'll each have a playoff. Is it the two top?
Yeah, it's the no, it's a 2-game series, right? QP, it's a 2-game series
for the playoffs.
For the playoffs. Oh, it's just one game. One game.
So
series,
is it top two on the East and West? Winner of that to then go
to the championship.
So we'll be heading to Las Vegas, right?
My ticket been booked.
I love it. Brandon, you got yours ready. I got mine ready. All right, Trent. This is a special lady. We hate to see her go. She is from going back to St. Louis. You know her here in Birmingham by Isis. We're going to get her up here. Isis Jones. She is production. Jones. She's the one that we depend on. I tell you, she makes us look better, Trent.
She make a lot happen behind the scene, and it's one of them things that you really can't explain her in one word. It's so many. Beautiful, unique, smart, intelligent. Helpful. She's very hard.
Special lady.
Yeah, it's one of them people that you can trust around your family, and really call blood, almost blood. Blood can make her more. That's big sis for me.
Big sis.
And she does a lot behind the scenes for my family and more. So I'm gonna turn it over to her, man. She's just been a special part of my situation here in Birmingham. Love her to death.
No, this was my last day with 98.7 Kiss FM's radio station here in Birmingham. Just thoroughly love the experience I've had here. Not from Birmingham. I'm actually from the Midwest, and I've been here in Birmingham for the last 10 years. And I appreciate folks just being able to support and showing all the love. It's a southern city, so there's always that southern hospitality. And I'm actually looking forward to bringing some of that southern hospitality back to the Midwest, because they need a little bit of sunshine from down south. So I appreciate y'all so much. Please continue to follow, because we got some exciting stuff coming up with Trent going into the next 30 days especially. We have some apparel. TR3 is getting ready to be launched. You can buy some TR3 gear because you are your way out. And again, supporting Trent on his climate acceleration back into the league, and just thankful for the opportunity to be a part of the team as well. And Trent's a great guy.
Can we say where you're heading?
No.
We can't say that?
No.
All right, we won't.
You gotta watch. You gotta actually follow me.
Okay, I do want to say this too.
Isis Sims Jones on everything.
No, I got to say this too. I know her by another name, but I'm not going to say it.
Oh, and Jesus,
it's Linda.
Yeah.
Linda on my mind. Isn't that a song, Trent?
That's my government. Hey,
but I want to say this, Linda.
That's my government.
Well, I got to say this because I was involved in an organization where we honor veterans. And not only do you have one, but you have two special people in your life that are military.
Exactly.
Your father, who just loved to death, got to know him. He served as a officer in the Army.
He was in the Army. I was an infantry ranger.
He was
airborne.
Can I say it? Can I say this? How much can I say? He was a badass.
He was a badass.
He was a badass. Good. We can say it.
He was a badass. This is YouTube. He was a badass.
Yeah, it's YouTube. So he was a badass.
Right.
And then your stepfather.
My stepfather's a West Point graduate as well.
A colonel.
Yes.
Full colonel.
Yes, both of them were full colonels.
Amazing. Yeah. Two amazing men. I just want to say
my mom's got great taste. It just works out like that.
Well, she had you. Linda on my mind. Thank you so much. We We love you. I have to look over at Linda all the time, and believe me, I like looking at her, and she gives me her cues. And
I love Phil, right? Phil's just so honest and real.
better
Just be
looking
coming
at.
out.
Hey, you're better than looking at Brandon.
You know what? And I truly appreciate that. And with that, I'm gonna get the hell out the way. Love y'all and continue to do
Thank
great
you.
things.
Thank you so
Trent.
much. Hey, we're right here at Sleek Sports Bar. Come on down, 5 Points South, 20th Street South. It's 1005 20th Street South. You can't miss it. Great atmosphere. I mean, inside, sort of outside. They might pull up the when the weather comes a little bit nicer. I'm sure they pull up the clear plastic out there. But this is a great venue. We love it. Good foods. Trent, give out your website.
That is TR3alliance.com. So y'all, please, y'all go down there and click and subscribe and go get some clothes. And it's much more on that though. I do a lot of speaking engagements.
You sure do.
A lot of community work.
You do a lot with the youth, special needs.
Yes.
I mean, go on the website. It shows what Trent is about. This is a family man. He is a personal friend. Love him to death. It just, as well as a great player. So many fans know him as a great player, but get to know the person. Get to know Trent. You're going to really look deep inside of him, and we really appreciate TR3 here.
Man, appreciate you, Phil.
Well, I appreciate it, and you can pay me later. All right, we got our first guest, Trent. I'm going to let you introduce.
So our first guest, man, we're going to go with Tobias Palmer. He's one of the best receivers that we have, and he's out there doing his thing day in and day out. Let's go, TP.
Come on, TP. Get up here, brother. Here you go, TP. There you go.
Appreciate it.
So, TP, you're a Wolfpack, North Carolina State?
Yes, sir.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew he was a little, off. So, everybody can't play for the Tide,
That's it. Jacksonville Jaguars, Chargers. I mean, you play with some great teams, good talent. We love to. We're so glad to have you here with the Iron.
Thanks for having me.
So, Trent, I'm gonna let you lead it off.
Just to sum up with TP, man. Just a little stuff about TP, man. This guy, I've known him for about 2 or 3 months, and this short time I've known him, I got to know about him and his family, where he coming from, and why he got his 68. Speaking of, we just talking to ISIS about, the military and stuff like that. A lot of people don't know TP was in the military before he started playing football. And he got a special story that he can share with y'all if he want to share that with you.
Okay.
Do you mind, TP? Will you share the story?
I don't mind.
And that's why I respect him like I do. And, that's why we done hit it off and, became, good friends. And, I look at him.
I noticed you're watching those wings,
like that. Oh, yeah. He better not touch my wings.
No, I ain't gonna touch him, man.
All right, TP, if you don't mind, we'd love to hear your story.
Coming out of high school, 2008, I didn't apply myself in high school like I should have, and so I ended up going to junior college at Georgia Military. While I was also there, I joined the reserves, and I did reserves there for 2.5 years. And so I had part military life, part civilian life. And so, long story short, get deployed, and I go out to Southwest Iraq for a few months.
So you did go across seas.
Yes.
What was that like, TP?
Different. It's a lot more I can go into about, but I refuse not to.
You're fine there.
Just to keep it short and sweet, man. It's just a privilege to be back on the outside instead of being out there doing what they're doing. So that's big. But after being over there, going through and seeing some of the things that I've seen, never thought I experienced at 18, 19-year-olds, and just being able to come back home and make it out alive, man, it's definitely a blessing. So just to be able to, have that part of my testimony, a part of who I am, is real big.
So here you are now. You obviously we said you played for North Carolina State, Jacksonville Jaguars, a few other teams, Chargers, Saints. Now you're with the Iron. What does this league mean to you? I mean, what does this opportunity mean to you? Obviously, we love watching you play. We are so glad to have you here. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to TP?
First and foremost, it's another blessing for us to actually be able to play the sport that we love to play. The times that we've probably invested in the NFL probably didn't work out in our favor at the time. And so this is another way of getting back to, where we want to get to. And, just this is the day in and day out grind, and just being a part of the Iron, especially being this first season, and just being a part of this special moment with these guys to be able to build something and, possibly bring a championship back to Birmingham, then, it's just been very special, to just grind and day in and day out and just be around these guys every day and just build, not only as a team, but just build as, guys and, to prepare ourselves for the real world.
Got to ask you, obviously you got Orlando coming in, they're 4-0. Trent and I were talking about the old ball coach. Have you ever faced off against Steve Spurrier's teams before?
In college, whenever we played against South Carolina Gamecocks. I think that was when we had Russell Wilson. That was my sophomore year.
So you played with Russell?
Yep.
Great athlete.
Yep, sure is.
So what are you going to expect? Obviously he's going to throw a great offense. So what do you expect with this team?
I expect them to come in and be physical. But we got to weather the storm. We got to control what we can control.
I mean, each week is strong. I mean,
yeah. But it's just all about doing it the Iron way. That's what Coach always talks about, like do it the Iron way and just make them play iron ball. So, they come here, we got to defend our turf, and we got to do what we got to do to handle business.
I got to ask you finally, the fans, to be honest with the fans. I mean, obviously we've had some bad weather, but I look at some of the Facebook sites and obviously at the games, and it's been amazing. I mean, and that's one thing about Birmingham. It's one thing about Alabama. I'm sure it's the same way in North Carolina, but they love their football here.
Right.
And obviously Trent knows that, playing here and at Alabama, but I mean, it's a good feeling. I mean, do you feel the vibe when the fans get into it and you're out there?
For sure. Especially it surprised us the first game, the big turnout that we had. Just know that we have a lot of people here supporting us, and that's, that has our back. And so just to have that each and every week, man, and even when we was down in Atlanta, we didn't think that, many of our fans was going to show up, but it seemed like that our fans were more loud than theirs were. So,
I heard them in here. They took a bus. They were road trip.
Yeah. So it was just big, man, just to have them to come out and support and help us get the W on that day in Atlanta. And, hopefully they can continue to come out and support us and help us get this W this weekend.
All right, Trent, anything else? I mean, I don't mean to interrupt you there with the wings, but
TB, you didn't tell them how you like the how you was on Soul Train back in the day. TP pretty old too. I'm just playing.
I looked serious, didn't I? Could you see me on Soul Train?
Nah.
No. Were you on Soul Train?
But this next guy's gonna come up, man. QP, he was definitely on Soul Train.
Okay. Well, let's give it up for Tobias Palmer. Great ball player. He is Iron Strong. All right, Trent, go ahead and introduce our next guest.
So our next guest, man, is a guy with the name of Quentin Patton, man. We call him QP, man. He's like really the lifeline of the team. He's a exciting player to watch. He's the leading receiver on our team. I think he might be number 2 or number 3 leading in the league right now. Anytime he don't score a touchdown, he'll let me make sure he know that I scored a touchdown for him and make sure I give him his props. He does that all the time. So I just tell him, as long as you get it in by the 5 or the 10 on out, it's mine. So you better do what you better do. But man, it's QP for you, man. Dancing machine, QP.
QP, get up here, brother. You're not kidding. I'm looking at your stats here, QP. 13 receptions, 226 yards, 17.4 average. I read good. Let me tell you, that's strong, Trent. 17.4 yards average. From Nashville, Tennessee. So in other words, you like country.
Yeah, I'm just from Nashville.
You played at Louisiana Tech.
Yes, sir.
And the 49ers, Jets, and now here at the Birmingham Iron. And as I said before, we're glad to have you here too.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to be here. Appreciate it.
So, Trent, I'm going to let you lead this out. I know you have some questions for QP here.
Well, QP had a chance to play in South Carolina. I mean, in San Francisco with Kaepernick, like and with guys like Patrick Willis,
Ole
guys like
Miss.
that. Like,
Great linebacker.
and so how was that like that element, like just to be, you know, and then have the, you know, the kneeling going and stuff like that, you know, for him to go, you know, and do what he did, and you know, for him to beat that case, like what does that actually mean?
I mean, to me personally, it's really bigger than football. And I'm just gonna leave it at that because I don't never try to get into, you know what I'm saying, that situation and everything. But as far as Patrick Willis and the Bar Bowman and the Justin Smiths and the Dante Whitners and the Joe Staleys that I played with out there as a young player, I wouldn't, man, I would like to go back to it, you know what I'm saying, just to gain some more knowledge
That's
from
right.
them, to pick their brain because they've been through so many battles, so many great games, won so many big games, and it was just a blessing just to be out there at that time.
Now, you know, Trent, I don't know if I'm going to say this really quick. You played for Louisiana Tech, and obviously Terry Bradshaw came out of there. Do you realize who Terry Bradshaw played behind at Louisiana Tech? The Duck Dynasty guy.
Oh, the dude from Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, he sure did. He sure did. Yeah, yeah. But I want to ask you this, and a lot of times when I interview guests, what was it like? Okay, so you finish up your college career, and I've asked Trent this before in the studio. You walk into that stadium. I understand you walk into college, big difference from high school. Now you're walking into the San Francisco 49ers. You got your locker, you see your name there at your locker. Man, you made it. What was that like to you when you walked in?
It was kind of weird at first because, you know, come from small school and you know I went to junior college too.
Okay.
That every time I went up a level in football, everything just got much, you know what I'm saying, bigger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, better. So to me, I just took it just by storm. That like I can't give no, you know what I'm saying, can't nobody come in here and take my locker away because I don't know when I'm gonna be able to get my locker back. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the approach about that I take.
You know, I want to back up because I know Trent will agree with me on this, and I'm going to get your thoughts, Trent. You said you played junior college too. Where did you play your junior college football?
The Coffeeville Red Ravens. Coffeeville Red Ravens in Kansas.
You know, and I don't know if the listeners realize Mississippi. Uh-oh, got a little storm there. Mississippi, Kansas, California, Texas. Junior college football is it's big. And great players have come out of there. And I know Alabama has had some players come from John Copeland. I know that was well before you.
I played with James Carpenter, the left tackle. Yeah.
So there's been some outstanding players that make it from junior college, and then they come on up to, you know, D1 level.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been some junior college players too. And I'm trying to think of a receiver that played for the Saints, and I'll think of it in a minute, that went straight from JC, from junior college, straight into the pro level. So that's some good ball there too now.
Yes,
QP,
it's a great talent there. Great talent.
Obviously, we've watched this man play. He's a great receiver for the Iron. We're glad he's here. But Trent, what's something you can tell us about QP? Something that in the locker room, something funny we want to know about this man.
Man, it's so many stories I got about QP, man. I think I got a whole category in my phone of QP just dancing like out of nowhere. I mean, and, you know, he's so, you know, but it's so funny. He does it at the right time. Like when people, you know, when we're tired, or you know, he the one on the sideline, or he's the one, you know, in the middle of means, you know, let's hype this thing up, let's get going. Or he'll just do something to make everybody laugh and just to make the room like, you know, even this week, like QP done this, you know, his everyday thing. You know, he coming in, he play the music. You know, guys feeling down and they feeling like, you know, today's gonna be a hard day, like on a Monday practice or something like that. Day one practice, it's a long day after that week that we just had and that game we just had. He just light up everybody, man. And one thing I wanted to ask you, QP, you know, from you coming from a JUCO school and you going on, you know, to a big college, and you going on to a team like San Francisco and got a chance to play with Kaepernick and, you know, guys like that, and you know, being at that level, you know, how hard is it, you know, growing up from a child and, you know, and doing all this stuff, like, you know, me, I didn't get experience the going through the JUCO, but I had seen the ups and downs. So how hard is it to go from that level, you know, coming from where you came from?
Well, man, JUCO's a whole different world, and a lot of people just don't know that, like, until you got to experience it, or you know what I'm saying, go visit somebody in JUCO or anything like that, because junior college is really like the last straw. You know what I'm saying? It's the closest thing to the NFL that you can get as far as like people making the team and not making the team. Because if you don't make the team, then you know what I'm saying, you might not be good enough to play. So for me, that it was just a blessing again, just to go through that, just to know that, hey, whatever I gotta get to, I just gotta keep working, keep going, don't give up, just keep going, because I know it's gonna be a light at the end of the tunnel.
All right. QP, okay, before you go, I'm going to have you go long, okay? I want to see those hands. No. Hey, look, I tell you, let's give it up. This is one of the best receivers in this league, without a doubt, Quentin Patton. Give it up. All right, Trent.
We're gonna get QP to do a dance before the end of the show. We're gonna get him, we're gonna put some music on. We're gonna show you what QP all about. We're gonna get him there.
I think we're having some technical difficulty here. We got our ma'am going over there. You know that guy? You know this guy over here working on it?
Oh yeah, that's your son Brandon, ain't it?
That's my son.
Mm-hmm.
I told him everything he knows. All right, Trent, who's our next guest, brother?
So our next guest, man, we got Tony Adams in here, man. You know, Tony, you know, he's a little league coach around here, but he does a lot more in the community other than, you know, being a little league coach.
Let's give it up for him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. I got to stop right there.
Let's get on over this way.
Okay, now, what'd you say?
I said Tony Adams, a little league coach. I forgot to say best of.
And you even told me that right before.
I just told him before. You know, hey, you know what, man? But you know, he was at Adamville last year, and he won the 6U championship. And remember, I was telling you the story about how TJ come to me and be like, I scored my touchdown before you on Legion Field. That's where it come from.
Oh, okay.
And that's what he was the coach. Man.
Okay, he coached TJ. I know he was proud of the touchdown too in the run.
Oh yeah, man. You know what, man? He's more proud of being a part of something and being able to be coached and I'm proud of him to be coachable and you know and to be able to figure out like the real ins and outs of football. Like Tony don't just teach, you know, go right or go left or you know just tackle or you know heads up. No, he teach the actual game.
He teaches
the game.
They
got reverses, they got doggone passes, and this is 6U. And this is stuff that he really, you know, actually teach. And, you know, and it's not just about football. He teach all sports. He had a chance to play ball in high school basketball and stuff like that. But I seen the passion that he had with the kids, you know, and a lot of people around here was, you know, it was trying to get TJ and, you know, trying to get him to go here and go there. And I was just, you know, when I took him out there with him, man, I seen how he, you know, taught them kids like they was his kids. You know, how he was tough on them and not letting them get away with it. Don't care who your daddy is or who your mama. And he'll tell you that. I've seen him tell kids all the time, you can tell your mom and your dad, I don't care. When you're out here with me, you're mine. You're and that's how, you know, a real coach.
So in other words, you have like a parents meeting, you know, kind of to look, this is it. This is my team. You let me take it. And I get that because we've seen that so many, what you're talking about, Trent. Now, Tony, I mean, this is really something special that you do. You take your time. You work with these kids.
True.
How did you want to get into this? I mean, how long have you, first of all, been doing this?
This is going into my, I want to say 6-year coaching period.
6 years.
But how I got into it was more my mother. It was more of her saying, this is just something you need to do. And I was hard-headed for a long time, but eventually I listened to it and started coaching kids. And it's been one of the best things I ever done in my life, period. I really do get a lot of enjoyment from coaching kids. And it's actually an opportunity to give them what someone gave me. I played youth sports and it helped me a lot out in life. So it's be kind of returning the favor.
So I get that, you know, because like you said that, you know, when you were young, you had a parent take their time.
Right.
And show you, you know, the ins and outs of football. Not only that, but maybe life itself.
Exactly.
And, you know, what these kids need to expect as they grow and get older. So obviously the league, it's in Bessemer.
It's all over Birmingham.
All over Birmingham. But your team is in Bessemer.
Yes, sir.
And you're the Tigers.
Yes, sir.
And so it sounds like, so
Okay.
each year, it sounds like you got them. Oh, we got an off mic there. So each year that you work with these kids, first and foremost, you obviously probably teach these kids, life, football, interaction together, and then that's going to all come in circle, right?
Right.
And then
Of course. And football, sports itself is
Right.
life in
Mhm.
general. It's adversity that you have to overcome. It's things you have to push yourself through. It's unfairness sometimes that you may have to deal with, like job wise.
Mhm.
Sometimes things don't go your way, and
Right.
you just have to deal with it. And so that's another thing that kids get to learn throughout dealing with sports. And we just don't do sports with them. I'm very adamant in their classrooms. Like, I know a lot of their teachers by first name. Like, I make sure they're on top of all things at all times. So it's just, making sure they on the straight and narrow in life altogether.
so how did your team do this year?
Oh, they did well. We did well.
Now, Tony was, able to take these kids and do fundraisers by himself. If they didn't have it, Tony was able to raise it. He took the kids to Pensacola for a big tournament down there. He took the kids a few places. And we was nationally ranked this year. What was nationally ranked?
And all number 15 in the nation, from
Number
unranked,
15 in
not
the
ranked
nation.
at all, to 15 in the nation.
And
Yeah.
number one in
Yeah.
the state.
Right, number one in the state, 15 in the nation.
And it's 5 and 6 years now. It takes time to deal with kids like especially at that age.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
that's one of the things I have learned from them. If I learn anything from these kids, it's patience. Right, exactly. Because before I started coaching, my patience, very short, very short. But dealing with these kids, you have no choice but to learn patience.
How can our viewers, listeners, how can they help? What can they do to help? I mean, obviously, it takes time, it takes money.
Right.
Like Trent said, you travel down to Pensacola, you travel other areas. What can the viewers do to help out?
Support. Like, when you do see people out standing on corners as far as fundraising and doing all that, I mean, it doesn't hurt to drop $1 or $2. I mean, even coming to games to support these kids, because
Right.
a lot of these kids, that's all they looking for is support. Like, you just don't know how much you can get out of them by just telling them good job. That really does a lot for them.
So like, it doesn't matter what age, whether it's Birmingham Iron, whether it's college, youth.
Right.
I mean, when the fans are there and cheering them on, I mean, that's big.
It's big, very, very. Support is very big. Knowing somebody's behind you and support you, what you do does a lot for you.
So now, obviously, you're the head coach. Do you have a coaching staff put together? Are you out there by yourself handling all these kids?
No, it's a lot that goes on into it. We have a whole staff.
That'd be hard by yourself.
Yeah, it was. I actually had to do it before by myself, but luckily enough, this year I had a very, very helpful staff that helped me get the job done in whatever way we need.
Behind the scenes, it takes a lot to. So you really appreciate all your coaches and.
Yes, of course, parents too.
That's what I ask you. All
yeah,
in all, you have some pretty
yeah,
good parents.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Now I got to ask you this.
Uh,
I guarantee, TR here, he's probably standing in the background. He probably doesn't even. I mean, I know he's rooting his son on, but he's not the kind.
Involved.
No. What I mean
Okay.
by that is he's not the kind that's going to say, "Hey, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that?"
No.
Oh, I know
wasn't.
he's involved.
He gave suggestions, true enough, but it wasn't like you should do it this way instead of
Right,
this way.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that at all.
Because I know he's an excellent parent. Because I mean, I know his kids; they're
Right.
wonderful kids, and what Trent does and what he gives. I mean, obviously, he's impressed with what you do.
Right, and
But it wouldn't be so bad having him as your running backs coach.
exactly. That's why I listen to anything he
Are
had
you
to say. You
recruiting?
know what I'm saying? If he made a suggestion, I definitely took it into mind. So it was good having him out here, and I truly
Can't think of
enjoyed
anybody
coaching
better.
TJ. Than having him on the
Yeah.
sideline? No, not at all.
That's right.
Not at all.
Trent, you got anything else?
Yeah, man. Quick things about Tony, man. He would, times I couldn't, I rarely miss practice, but times I couldn't make it, man. He would sit there and tell me, about the whole, all the players, what they was doing, and he'll wait to the last to tell me about TJ. And so, stuff he was telling about TJ, he'd be like, "What the dog? Like, where this dog come from?" And he'd be like, "It's just in the blood, Him like TJ, he's a 5 years old this year playing with the 6U, and he was probably, I think it might have been 2 5-year-olds playing with the 6U this year that actually played and started on the defense and started on offense. TJ, he's gonna be a bigger guy. He's the star middle linebacker, man, and It's just amazing, the progress I seen him pick up from when he first started to where he was at the end, where he at right now. I think one of the biggest things to me, I was just like, man, he got to get more, into it. He got to. But Tony found a way to where he was more into it. He was very impressed with how he was teaching them. Like, and Tony will get into their tail. Now he ain't talking to these kids as in hey baby, this and that.
It's
He's on there like
football,
he's a real head coach. He to me he's the Nick Saban of Birmingham. That's how I look at him. And
them big shoes to fill.
man,
I hope,
it
don't
is,
too
but
many
he
people
have
see
done
it.
that, to my point. And when you talk about stuff like that, man, that's why I say excellence means a lot.
Well, it's like you're saying too, Trent. Sometimes because you are TJ's father, and I know TJ, and he's going to listen to you. I mean, here's Dad, and I mean, my gosh, he's proud of his father. I mean, because look, you got a father that's an outstanding running back, but sometimes you can take a guy like Tony that's coaching these kids, and he might know what to say to get a little more, other out of it because he's not his father.
Right, and that actually happens a lot. Like different kids, different strokes for different folks, as they say. You can't say and do the same with all of them. So some of them you do have to say and do different things with. But one of the things that surprised me with TJ the most, his understanding of the game to be so young. Like
Right.
he was legitimately 5 years old, and I had no choice but to start him, not because Trent was his father, but
Right.
because of his level of play and understanding of the game. So it was a truly enjoyment coaching him.
Hey, look, let's give a big hand for Coach Tony Adams and what he's doing for the youth. The youth of Bessemer, Birmingham, the league. Thank you for what you do. Hey, look, we're here at Sleek Sports Bar. It's at 5 Points South on 20th Street South. Some of the best wings. I've still been eyeing your wings, Trent. And I snuck a fry while you were doing an interview with the coach there. And
You know what,
but I
man?
couldn't get the wing.
You
I
know
was
what? You and
looking to get that.
QP gonna go back with two limbs. Y'all keep on.
Reminds me of that story with your brother. Hey, look, I think we got another iron that just walked in, another guest. You want to introduce him?
Yeah, man. One of the top defensive players in the league. And he came from a place that a lot of people might not know about. And his story, man, is just amazing. How he got here. I still don't know how he's in this league right now, because the way this man playing football, he should be definitely on Sunday, Monday nights, Thursday night football. I can't wait to see him perform when he get out there, man. Every weekend for me, it's amazing because he does the same stuff at practice, but it's even more amazing when you're sitting there on the sideline and you tell him, I tell him just like this, man, give me the ball back. And one thing man, I can count on him. He's going to strip the ball. He's going to intercept it. He's going to do something to be a playmaker. Jamar Summers.
Jamar Summers. All right, let's give it up.
Glad to have you, man.
I'll tell you what, Trent, he's got a pretty strong handshake there. Hey, look, Trent gave you a great introduction. UConn, Trent, I think this guy's probably made straight A's coming out of school.
You know what? I can tell that, man. He's very intelligent, man. And a lot of stuff that he say to me, I kind of be like, hold on, wait, slow it down. Say that again.
So Connecticut to the Steelers. Now you're at the Iron. I'm gonna back up. You walk into that Steelers locker room, boy. There's been some players that have come through that program.
Most definitely.
What was that like? I mean, and I think of some great defensive players that have come out of there, and think about some of these linebackers that have come out of there. Lambert, Ham, defensive backs. What was that like?
Which one you want to talk about? You mentioned.
Let's go ahead and talk about the defense first.
Okay,
Excuse me, walking into the Pittsburgh Steelers locker room.
Walking into the Pittsburgh Steelers, that was fun. It was a humbling experience, being around some great guys. You had some older guys in there, you had some younger guys. It was a perfect mixture of both. Guys had experience, guys had talent, and it was a great environment to be around.
Now here you are. You're from up north. You come down. Now you're here in the South, and Trent will tell you this is football down here.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm already knowing.
What's that feeling like? I mean, we've asked the question to the other guys.
You say this is football down here, but it's football everywhere.
I agree.
Jersey,
I
we
agree.
definitely produce some guys, and I'm proud to be from where I'm from. I'm proud to be where I'm from.
And you ought to be. That's good. But we're glad to have you here, though. I mean, obviously, where you're from, they produce outstanding athletes, and as Trent said, this defense has been outstanding, and a lot of it's because of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate that. But I owe it to the guys, man. The guys up front, they definitely hold it down. You know what I mean? I tell them, hey, get in their face, man. All I need is a few seconds. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make a play, or y'all gonna make the play, or we hold each other down.
Trent, I'm going to let you go ahead here.
One thing I noticed about Jamar, man, he's very chippy. Like I don't know if somebody ever told him that he's the shortest man on the field, or he got little man syndrome, whatever it is. He got a chip on his shoulders all the time. I mean, even at practice, he coming through, he gonna give you that shoulder, and he gonna tell you, I'm coming at you every play. And that's just just the mindset that I've seen from him. One thing about it, man, I talk to you almost every week, on game day, and I
No
just
doubt.
like, give me the ball. Now, what is your mindset when I say it to you? Because every time I say that, you produce. Like you're doing something amazing, or you knocking down the ball, or you intercepting the ball, or you stripping the ball. Like, what is your mindset when you out there?
At the end of the day, man, being a defensive player, your legs hurt all week of practice. You don't want to be out there all day, so you gotta get off the field. You gotta find a way, and it's just the instinct within me and telling the defense, just get off the field, man. Let's get these boys the ball back and let them produce. Let them do what they do.
So one of my things tonight, man, I'm talking about excellence. A lot of people don't actually know what that means. When you talk about excellence, for me, it's a lot of different things that go up into that category. And I'm gonna say more of mine, when you get done speaking. So when you talk about excellence, what do you think, what it takes to, be an excellent player or just to be an excellent person? What do you think?
I don't think it takes. When you say excellence, I feel as though when people think about excellence, they automatically think that they have to be something more of what they are. You know what I mean? I think for excellence is just being the best that you can be, and that's all it really boils down to. You don't have to be anybody extra. You don't have to be anybody you might look up to, but you just have to have your swag to it, have your little, your little finesse to it, and that's how your excellence will be created.
Man, that's
About this week. Obviously, you got, we've talked about this, Trent and I. Orlando's coming in Saturday. You being a defensive player, the old ball coach has got an offensive mind. Now,
No doubt.
you probably at UConn, you guys probably didn't face him because he was at Florida and South Carolina.
Yeah.
But everybody knows this guy.
Yeah.
He's been around for a long time. How do you get yourself ready? Because we know this is going to be a high-powered offense coming in, right?
I tip my hat off to the offense. It's a great offense, run by a great head coach, good quarterback, good receiving core. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like I told these boys in the locker room, shit, us UConn boys can play ball too. You know what I mean? I'm always up for the challenge. I know it's a challenging sport, and I always say football is a humbling sport. I was never the type, the DB that always talk smack. I just have fun with it. You know what I mean? Plays gonna come and plays gonna be lost. It's all just having that mindset that you just having fun with the game you started off playing with back in the backyard.
Obviously, we think about basketball at UConn, whether it's men's or women's. But I tell you what, you're exactly right. I've watched some great football talent and some great football games come out of UConn and a lot of big wins.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, that was fun. That was fun to be a part of. But we didn't win too many.
So tell me this, man. And I ask everybody this: like, what was your 68 growing up? And what pushed you to be, Jamar Summers? Other than I'm just a football player, and I got to do something. What pushed you to actually, get to the point to where you knew that this was going to be, your way out. You are your way out. That's my slogan. So what pushed you?
To me, it was a little bit of everything that was going on at home. For the most part, at first, I'm not gonna have a cliche story that this was my big dream to play on the big stage. Being a super young kid. But as I got through high school and I understand how much I can evolve and seeing how much talent there is out there, I wanted to compete, and that was always fun. And then in high school, I also lost a friend of mine that was older than me, but I always looked up to. Losing him humbled me and made me understand that I gotta do this. You know what I mean? And the funny thing about him, his name was Ambitious, and that stuck with me. So that was his street name. As everyone known him as is Ambitious, whether it was on the field or off the field, and that's exactly how he carried his mindset and his day on and off the field. And that's why tend to try to model.
Oh man, that's amazing. That explains why your IG name is in
Ambitious more.
That's what's up, man. You
Yeah.
know, one thing about it, man. You know, just thinking about the word excellence, man, is it's a verb, not a noun. You know,
Yeah.
it's a word that got to be taken with action.
No doubt.
Like and it can be the smallest stuff, man. You know, when I think about excellence, it's the stuff that you do when you're not around nobody. You know, and then that turn into an opportunity. Um, and so for me, man, excellence, is always built on to the stuff that goes on behind the scene, that you got to go through. Like I done seen so many different things and been so many different places, been on the high end, the low end, and right there in the middle, to where like it took me to be excellent, at the end of my, my end of my run. That's why I want to be notified as, and to be a perfectionist too. But excellent don't just come overnight. When you're excellent, you gotta go through something to actually be that person, to have that drive. And so, for me, man, all the stuff that I went through to get to where I'm at, that's what makes my play excellent. And I'm telling you, man, like it no matter what it is. Like Jamar tell you, any one of these guys tell you, I get the ball in practice, I'm running 30 yards down the field because you never know when you're gonna pop a long one. You never know when you're gonna break that long run. You got somebody behind you chasing you, and farther the person that's gonna be beside me chasing me is always him. It always end up being him or Ryan, a smooth something like that, man. But it's
Get ball.
exactly, and it's stuff like that, man, where you put them blinders on, man, and you do what you can do when nobody's watching. Like that turned into opportunity. Like and that's big. Like a lot of people don't get like the concept of excellence. It's a action. Like it's a action, and you got to really buy into it. Like it's the process. Like the process to go through stuff, makes it way better in the end. So that's my concept on being excellent.
Well said, Trent. Well said. We appreciate that, Trent. Well said. Hey, look, let's give it up. I mean, outstanding player, outstanding defensive player. We love him. Jamar Summers, Mr. Yukon. Hey, this is Interactive with Trent Richardson. At this time, we want to open up the floor for any questions for TR3 here. I tell you, we're brought to you by Sleek Sports Bar, TR3. Go on his website. Trent, give the website. There's so much on there just besides clothing, gear. There's a lot of information.
Yeah, it's a lot on there, man. TR3alliance.com. And like I said, it's much more than football for me. So
and that's what you're about, Trent. So let's go ahead and open it up. Anybody have any questions? And
any questions for our guys?
For our guys too.
Man. You got one?
Okay, we got one.
How does it feel working or being under a coach that's never really actually been a head coach before?
It's funny that I get asked that question a lot. Because that dude, people don't realize how hard, it is to be a head coach and, what he have done, in his career. That dude has won Super Bowls with the Steelers. He was the defense coordinator with the New York Giants when they won their last Super Bowl. And he was with the Falcons for a long time. And he had the opportunity, to be, a head coach. And I was talking to him one day, he was just like, man, I guess I just pissed the wrong person off. In this world, you gotta, you gotta know your rights and your wrongs and your do's and your don'ts. But this guy here, man, he's a player's coach. He played the game. He came from a hard work of nobody knowing who he was to, being a first round draft pick. So he actually, in with the Packers.
He also, I don't know if a lot of people realize, I don't know if I'm on here. He played for Jackie Sherrill at the University of Pittsburgh, and his quarterback was Danny Marino.
Yeah.
And so, to me, Trent, as you just described, Coach Lewis, I think he gets a lot of that too, coming from Coach Sherrill and what he represents. As you said, the way he's grown up, first round draft pick, and he's been in the NFL for a long time.
Oh yeah, man. And one thing about Coach Lewis, man, that I love, like he actually bring his kids to work, and you can see the smile on his face, and you can see the extra, you can see his drive and his 68. Why he do what he do every day. He bring his kids in there. He got he's an extra pep in his step. He's smiling and and he's happy to be at work, and that's why he come to work every day, and that's why I respect him as a coach, as a father, and the head coach, and and a player, of the game. That's why I really respect him a lot, man, because you can see, his values and what he believes in.
Not being the boss, if you will, as the head coach, but the compassion.
Oh yeah, they're definitely compassion, man, because a lot of people would never bring their kids to work or never have them around like that. I done been around programs like that.
Any more questions?
You got a question?
Yes, sir. Mr. Richard, how has the team changed your life so far?
Oh man, just being a part of the Iron, has really changed me, far as like being more hungry. Because I'm playing with a lot of guys that are younger, and I had an opportunity to play with a lot of older guys. So playing with these guys is younger and having to lead them, because I see how hungry these guys is, and being a leader on the team, you gotta lead by example. Like I said, that excellence, like it's a big thing in my life and in my everyday work. And so being able to lead a group of grown men that's trying to get where you're going, and trying to get to the big show, like it really changed you, like, and it makes you hungry, like it makes you show more passion and more grit.
We got another question online. What did you think about that last pass interference call in the end zone?
The last pass interference. Oh, that was on Jamar.
Oh,
That's a Jamar question.
Jamar.
Come on, Jamar. Come on up here. Come, come on. That's on Jamar.
I don't know if it's kids watching, but that call was some bullshit. Straight up. That call was some bullshit.
You know what,
It was
man?
one of those calls, you know what I mean, where momentum of the game, ref just gotta let that go.
Yeah, and that was a big play for us too, man. Cause like that call right there, I'm talking about, we would have got that turnover like we supposed to right then and there, like time wise and the momentum. Like it was good coverage. Like it ain't no way in the world that's supposed to be a pass interference. So I mean, but for me, I think that was
But the defense held it down. They only got three better than 6.
You just dropped the mic.
Okay, it's no more. Brandon, is one more.
What was your best Alabama game that you played in your opinion?
Oh man, that's tough. I done had so many games at Alabama that's like full of memories. I mean, of course, everybody they love the Ole Miss game. They love the juke. Everybody loved that. So speaking of that game, Phil's sister had a picture of the game, the juke that ended up happening, and shook old boy. But it came early that game where he bit down early, and I was like, I said, Coach, we need to go back to that play, because if he bite down again, I'm gonna just I'm gonna beat him to the edge. He bit down, and I shook him in the backfield. That was the first time I shook him, and so actually I ran our reverse field, ran down the field, reverse field again, and I slowed down, waited on my blockers, my receivers. My receivers always doing a great job down the field, man. I think it was Darius Hanks and Marquise Mays at the time, and Dwight Andrew, it might have been. And so what happened was I was going to reverse field again. So when I actually turned, all the DBs that was in front of my blockers, they went to the side that I was going to go to. And I actually seen Buddy, I just gave one of those dead man legs. That's what we call it. Gave one of those and that became the juke, and that's how it happened.
Hey, I got to say this. We want to thank everybody down in Orange Beach watching, because they are watching tonight. And there you go, the juke.
Yes, sir.
You got a special guest we're about to bring up real quick.
Oh yeah, man, we got a special guest, man. We got
Birmingham's
Mr. Joel in
own.
the house, man. Birmingham
Mr.
bound,
Joel.
man. Never know who gonna pop up, man. Big dog. It's big bro right here, man. He's a great leader, man.
He's from right here.
Yeah, right here from Birmingham, man. And he does a lot for the community, man. And I've been watching for a long time, and I've been a big fan of him. He probably got some of the biggest hands in the world. just shaking his hand. He shook my hand all
Put
on
those
my,
put those hands out here. Put them up for we can see.
shook my hand all on my doggone tattoo on where my mama at. But it's stuff like that, man. And a lot of people don't realize he's just an athlete, man. He went to the league as a quarterback, played receiver, got a chance to play with Brett Favre for a long time. Being a successful receiver. He's actually a good basketball player too, man. But a lot of people don't know, about what he do in the community around the world. So I mean, if you want to share a little bit with us, man, and just let them know your little journey a bit, man, your background.
Okay, I'm just really here supporting, Birmingham Iron. It's my hometown. I grew up here in Birmingham, Alabama. Played at Ensley High School, Winona High School, went to UAB, got drafted by Minnesota Vikings, played there 4 years, played Charlotte 3 years, Buffalo 1 year, Houston last year. And like I said, I'm just here supporting, man, Birmingham Iron, here with Trent, along with the other guys. It's not about me. I'm all about supporting, guys who trying to do good for the community, as far as being a leader in the community and being a positive role model. And that's what guys like Trent doing, here right now, just being a positive role model for the kids.
Man, I really appreciate that, man. So it's guys like him, Eric Bledsoe, DeMarcus Cousins, they come back, to the city, man, and do great things. Mario Williams, man, and God, it's so much talent from Birmingham. Just like how it is everywhere, man. But these guys actually, it don't take money to give back. The time that they come and throw camps for free and do stuff, just sign an autograph and give hugs to these kids or go talk to them. It goes a long way. My biggest inspiration in high school and when I was young was Roy Jones Jr.
Right there in Pensacola, yeah.
There in Pensacola and Derrick Brooks. Just for them coming back, doing the walk for wellness and stuff like that with me. It pushed me to be a community guy. So I appreciate you, man, for coming out to support and all the talent that you have, man.
Those hands do cover him up there,
man. Look, he's taking time out his busy schedule, man, and being a supporter, man. I appreciate him, man.
Hey, we are at Sleek Sports Bar. We do have to thank Sleek Sports Bar because we come here every Thursday around 7 o'clock. Sometimes there, sometimes after, and we. Oh, what are you laughing? I got to get my little gig in. I'm doing. Anyway, 7 o'clock. It's here 5 Points South on 20th Street South. You're not going to find any better wings, any better food. Come on down, just enjoy. We love the crowd here. TR3, give the website, Trent.
That's TR3@alliance.com. Man, my slogan, man, every week, every day of my life, man, you are your way out, man. There's no excuses. It's not on nobody else, man. It's on you. So, however y'all take that in, man. And I was telling somebody yesterday, I was, talking to a young lady. She was just like, she had a couple situations. I was just like, it's not on your coach, it's not on your mama, it's not on your dad, it's on you. You are your way out. So
that's it. Hey, we want to thank Quentin Patton, Jamar Summers, Tobias Palmer, Coach Adams. Who else we forgetting here? How about Isis?
Oh, we're gonna turn up for Isis Day, man. Her last day.
This is her last day.
At the radio station,
she's still here.
Yeah, she will,
but we can't say where
TR3.
she's going yet. Still with TR3, no matter where she goes, and we love her. And how about our special guest too that snuck in on us, Mr. Hands himself?
Oh yeah, man. You never know who's gonna show up, man. And we got a lot of iron players out there.
Yes, we do.
We're gonna get these guys on too. We got Ryan right here, man, in the crowd, man. We're gonna get him on the SEC, the Iron Bowl week. We're gonna have, man, and we're gonna talk about our times when he had the Alabama and Auburn game. We're gonna definitely do that. We're gonna get a good group together, because we do have some Alabama guys and we do have some Auburn guys.
We get those Auburn guys on. We're gonna have Libby watching on that one.
Yeah, man. And we might have to split up for a little bit because it might be a little conversation back in the locker room.
I think you're right. Hey, we appreciate you coming out. We appreciate the listeners, the viewers. Appreciate Sleek. Appreciate his wife, everybody that waits on us here, the wait staff. We want to thank Ralph. He is the man. He
Smash
Brothers. I mean, they do a wonderful job. Mr. Photog. Got what was that, Mr. Yeah, yep. We got to thank. I'm gonna pull out his card right here. Ron Pride. That name fits him. Got your card, Ron. And I tell you, we want to thank you for tuning in. I got to thank my buddy here, TR3, Trent Richardson. This is what it's about. It's about Trent. And you've been listening to Interactive with Trent Richardson. Come back next Thursday.